We are soulmates, Drew advised me, tilting his head to look at me. You have put too much effort training me to be the perfect husband and father for me to forget you. And you have made life exciting. Every time I turn around there is some new development. You are an empath, a time traveler, you have a twin. I laughed. I watched as Drew started to change Alli's nose to be broader, her forehead to be squarer and her forehead, wider. He covered her mole and birthmark. We need to change her hair color and eye color. I can do the contacts, but we are going to need a wig for her. I called up to the shopping concourse and spoke to one of the hairstyling shops. They are bringing down a straight black-haired wig. I don't even think Mama would recognize her. Good, Alli decided, looking from me to Drew and back again, because that is the only way I am going to stay out of trouble. Alli, all my resources are at your disposal. I know you don't know me or my family, but I really do care what happens to you. I tilted my head to the side and insisted, I don't know how empath you are, but my daughter and I are uber-empathic, so I am hoping we don't scare you. I was raised human. I was raised that being empathic was being too sensitive. You weren't, by any chance, raised by Erika, were you? I pulled up a picture of Erika on my QuanPad and handed it to her. When I saw her nod, I touched her arm. She almost married Dad, and we were raised by her in another timeline, and she told me the same thing. She is not human. She is a Zeitverschidete. Her race kills time travelers, and she has threatened to kill me in every timeline. I am sorry if you had a good relationship with her. That was my experience. No, I didn't have a good relationship with either one of them. They controlled everything I did. I couldn't go outside and play. I couldn't go to sleep at friends' houses. They made me marry Cain. They ruled by fear, manipulation and gaslighting. The fact that I belonged to another family, that my memory was erased to prevent me from remembering my real family, it makes sense now. And it was perfect because we were drugged too, so we weren't looking for you. I wish I would have just remembered. I always thought it strange that after Mama died, Dad would not talk about her at all. From what I've heard from the Camrys, they tried to fight for custody of the three of us, but, the Camrys? Mama's parents? I nodded. Lord and Lady Camry. They are on the supervisors on India 7. On Mama's side, we own two seats that belong to our family lines. Lord Camry has been trying to get me to tell him what I saw when Mama was murdered. I wasn't there. Just then my comm chimed. Mama, Samantha said over my communication device. Aunt Abby wants to know if we can have family dinner tonight in Obsidian. She said that she feels like we all need to be together tonight, and she said Uncle Aiden is visiting us for dinner as well. I looked to Alli and then Drew. I have the feeling Mama visited them too. I touched Alli's hand and asked, are you up for this? She nodded. We need to be together again. If Mama came to all of us, she wants us to be together. I shrugged my shoulders. Mama is my guide on the other side. She helps me solve my cases. It is a phenomenon that has been occurring in a lot of the law enforcement communities. Dead people coming to us in dreams to help solve crimes. I turned to Drew. Is she okay to come with us to dinner? Straight to dinner and straight back to our guest room to rest. I nodded. I put my thumb to the center of my commlet and told Samantha, we will be there. Afterward, she gave me the details. An hour later, Drew, Alli and I joined the family who gathered at a long table on the back wall with Dominic, our son which looked like Drew at his age, on the terminal in the center of the table. I saw my 6'0" tall, blondish brown-haired brother with a square jaw, broad nose, dark green eyes. Aiden, I greeted, running my eyes over him. You are looking more and more like Dad every day. I hugged him. When we broke away, Aiden said, raking his eyes over Alli, I know you are in disguise, but you must be Alli, Alex's twin. I cannot be all forgot about you. Mama had to come to Abby and me in a dream for us to remember. I am sure that is what happened with you and Alex too. In my and Abby's defense, we were quite young, but you and Alex, I can only imagine how it must be to realize you have a twin you forgot about. After we all sat at the table, Samantha cleared her throat. What is going on? The woman in disguise is your Aunt Alli, my twin sister. We were all exposed to a drug, I explained to Sam, punching my order into the screen in the middle of the table, that made us forget Alli existed and Alli forgot we existed. She was taken and raised a human. Our mama came to each of us in a dream that caused us to remember. Wow, expressed Sam. That's a lot to process. I introduced everyone and then said, and in addition to Alli and Zane joining our family, we have another who will be joining us. Drew and I are expecting a little girl. Sophie, Aiden, Abby and Alli chorused. Dylan asked, does that mean we are no longer going to be the youngest? Drew nodded. Yep, your sister Sophie will be the youngest. Your mama thinks she is going to be a doctor like me. I saw her in the future. She is a doctor. We did not plan her. We thought your dad couldn't father any more children, so we weren't careful. Ew, the kids said in unison. I laughed. Dominic decided, Mama, you always told me that no baby is a mistake. Okay, she wasn't planned, but she is our sister nevertheless. I nodded. Tony leaned in and whispered, Johnny heard that someone is after Alli. I heard that the family who took her because they thought she was you, the one with the super empathic gifts and could time travel. When they found out she was a dud as they put it, they could not return her and take you because it would make their motivation obvious. First of all, I didn't realize I had the time-traveling ability back then. And from what I understand, Erika, a woman who threatened to kill me in all timelines, raised me and my sibling except Alli. She raised me in the timeline where Dominic died. What is her endgame this time? To kill all the time travelers? What does that have to do with killing Aurora Asher? And who is helping her? I don't know, but I have the feeling your twin knows what we need to know. I am just not sure she remembers. I suspected that too, but if we can figure out how we are being exposed to this memory-erasing drug, then maybe we will all remember what they are preventing us from remembering. Now that I know I am a time traveler, I wonder how long it will be before Erika and her colleagues come after me. And is she the person who killed our mother? Why, is she the reason our father never speaks of our mother? Tony shook his head and decided, I don't know, but what if this is a rabbit hole? What if all these things are not related? I tilted my head and studied him. I don't know about you, but in my world, the chances that they are not related is lower than the chance that they are all connected. I have a feeling this is no exception. Tony nodded and provided, Jessa thinks that we need to figure out why the supervisors got spooked and went underground. From what my contacts say, we have to find one of the people on the supervisors, Dean Zebron. Only no one has seen him in several months. Who was the last person to see him? Ethan Locke. I have a message out to him, but since he is on the supervisors, he is being quiet. Just then my QuanPad chimed. I looked at it to find a message from Ethan. I will be coming to see you with the information I have. Hide me out. I slid it over to Tony and said in a low tone, our answer looks like it is on the way. But why are we becoming a refuge for those who need to hide out because someone is pursuing them? We are agents. We have security. They can hide among all the people aboard? I get that, but we have a lot of problems right now. We have a murdered supervisor member. We have the supervisors, my twin, who I didn't remember, hiding out. And somehow all of this is connected to my mother's murder, and my unborn child. The only thing we have encountered recently that isn't related is the illness that the twins have. The twins have a disease? They have Latcham disorder. Drew and our Aunt Jules are working on a cure, but because of my healing abilities. They are 5 years from us needing a cure immediately. That's great. From what I have seen and heard of Drew, finding a cure for this is right up his alley. I nodded. I agree. He will find a cure. I know he will. Then maybe other parents and their children won't have to suffer like we are. I love Drew. It is an added bonus that he is a fantastic doctor who loves to reverse engineer diseases, such as this one. He has had to put up with a lot to be with me. Me being an empath, a time traveler, and now having a twin we didn't remember, and not once has he ever said, this is too much. It cannot be easy to be married to a person of a species other than yourself. I know that you and Drew have already formed a support group. I think Abby is a piece of cake in comparison to what Drew goes through with you and your kids being indigoid. It is my mother who is the sticking person for me. She is not sure about me marrying a person I barely knew, and who is an indigoid. She said she had nothing against indigoids, but that we do not know enough about your race. Tell her that she likes me, and I am indigoid. I brought up that point, and she wanted to know if you have time within the next 2 days to speak with her about the situation. Sure, but the situation. You married my sister. That isn't a situation. That's a fact, but I thought, from what I'd heard from Jessa, that your mother was staying as far away from your marriage to Abby as she could. I thought she was trying to keep it out of the press. As a president candidate, yes, but as a mother, she is concerned about my choices as of late. I get that, but as I can see, we are not included in her policies. She has not made any effort to build a relationship to the supervisors. I understand we are only one planet, but we have 2 species on that planet that have no representation on Earth. We are an Earth colony, and, in the other timeline where India 7 was dying, the Freedom Alliance and the President were providing aid. But, that is something you can discuss with her. I get it. You, from what I understand, have never been secretive about the fact you are indigoid. You went through the academy, went through the ranks and are a colonel, and yet when Earth talks, they talk about Earthoids. After the waiter delivered our food and we began eating, Aiden interjected, raising his eyes to meet mine and then Tony's. Is it possible to get in on that conversation? He returned them to me and said, you know I have ambitions to take on our supervisor seats in the future. I would like to start talks with President Ashton now, so that we can foster a relationship between the President and India 7. I understand that the Zeitverschidete are our enemies, but the issue is that they have not been included in the White House agendas either. We are the only other known races beside the Earthoids. I agree. We can certainly get you an audience with the President, but what you do with it is up to you. Dear brother, I advised Aiden as I put my BLT to my mouth. Exactly, Sam agreed, gathering her spaghetti on her fork. We are not represented in Congress or any of Earth's governments. Yes, we are represented in the Freedom Alliance, and probably the Crimson Fleet, which means we can lay our lives on the line for the Earth government, but we are not allowed to run for office. Not everyone has a seat on the supervisors they can use to affect change. Are we not allowed to? Just because no one has that does not mean that we are not allowed to, I returned, looking to Tony. However, she does bring up a good point. Is there a provision stating that Zeitverschidete and indigoids cannot run for office on Earth?